Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition on the PC on Dante Must Die difficulty, and this is my SSS-Rank guided walkthrough. We're currently on mission 17 of 20. It is entitled Adagio of Strings. So let's get through the stylish points here and all the rest. 17,000 stylish points is what you need to obtain. You need to finish the mission within 25 minutes, and of course you need to obtain the Red Orbs. So you're probably not going to have to worry about any of those except maybe the orbs. As long as you beat this chapter and you're participating and you're keeping your rank up fairly decently, and doing drives and overdrives, those take off so much damage from enemies, and you get so many stylish points for those. Yeah, the time limit is completely fair. The stylish points are not unreasonable, and it's basically it's a very difficult level composed of 4 mandatory fights. So if you're used to going on to chapters and skipping out a lot of the fights, well, none of the fights on this chapter are negotiable. You've got to do them all. So at about this point, when you have 2 of these scarecrows left, you will have a troop of Alto Angelos coming in. And the thing I don't like about these fucking Alto Angelos is that there has to be 2 Biancos with them. So it has to be 1 gold and 2 whites. Sometimes they will do the kamikaze, where the gold one will instruct the other ones to do a mad dash across the screen towards you, and they kill themselves in the process, leaving the gold one. Otherwise, they, in a very capricious way, will decide whether they want to use that sphere attack, that ball, that piercing void dog shit. And if there's any scarecrows around, they can interrupt to, get in your way. So these enemies dictate how many points you're going to get on this fight, unfortunately. So I had so many good fights so many other times, but this is one of those missions where you're going to have bad times and good times no matter what you do, because you might do shitty on a couple of the fights, but you might have a pristine Agnes fight. And I did, but when I saw the scorecard at the end, after I had tried to do this game for the first time after a while, at least for this chapter, I got 99% of the orbs, and I was confused. I was livid, but I was more confused than anything. I missed a single orb, and I know you'll say, well, Bic, that's fine. It doesn't matter. You still get all the S's. But when I say I want to do something as a goal, I can't fall short of that goal. Otherwise, things have to get deleted. So, and I don't even know which orb it was, to be honest. It could have been anything. So when you get over here, there's going to be, this is a difficult arrangement that you've got in, but there are ways to ameliorate some of the difficulty over here. What you want to do is shoot charge shotguns at the Mephisto. You want to drop him, and you want to, if you can, drive the fucker home with the real impacts. The thing about the Mephistos is that they, when they fall out of their cloaks, they fall out for longer times than the Fausts. The Fausts are just bitchy. They're bitchy, and they're just damage whores. I hate them. But what you can do, once the Faust spawns, is that you can run back and forth over here, because what happens, there's so many assaults over here that you're going to be interfered with. So you need to take out these assaults, and what I do is I stinger spam. It's just stinger whore, and then just get him off the camera, because he does not need to be on the camera. You don't fear a Mephisto, you fear a Faust. It's just no question about it. So we have fixed camera angles. There's no control of the camera over here, so you need to make sure that you position yourself at a safe place at all times where that Faust is not in the picture. Now, did you see what happened right there? I was trying to do the Omen, but I got interrupted. If you activate double trigger, you cannot get interrupted from that. You will take a little bit of damage, but you cannot get interrupted by it, so that's really nice. As an aside too, I mentioned in an earlier video that when assaults fuse with those little seeds in the forest and they start flailing around, they get a projectile attack. That was incorrect. They already have a projectile from the start, so I wanted to correct that. So what I like to do is just come back here, give this guy plenty of room to land when he drops from his cloak, switch from the, do your switching, and then start out with I beg your pardon. Make sure that the first hit is the devil trigger. Activate. I know I've mentioned that you need to on the first contact. You need to use the devil trigger as you make contact with them. But just start out with the devil trigger so that you have a little bit more of an allowance, and then that should work a little bit better for those Fausts. Again, consult that video on YouTube. It will tell you exactly what you need to do, and it'll tell you way more than you might want to know. And it's one of those things that you might not be able to wrap your head around the first time. So that's why I like to keep a little bit basic on these runs over here. Okay, this is the fight that is the fight 3 of 4. So when you get down the street, there's going to be a street full of the scarecrows to fight. So the boss, did I mention that? Yeah. So we have time over here. After you kill like 3 of these shits, you'll spawn two mega scarecrows, and you'll want to make sure that you kill them quickly because they have even more damage, and taking them down is incredibly difficult. You can still prop them, which is nice, but it takes more props to do. And they deal more damage as well, so you want to make sure. Like that move, that would take like 3 times way more. So when I first got to Chapter 17, this was like 5 days ago, maybe a week, I cleared this level, beat Agnes, I did everything I needed to do, but I got 99% of the 100% of worms that I needed. So to me, it was a failure to what I set out to do, that is. I'm not saying that it was a failure by itself. I'm just saying that it was not what I intended to do. I missed a single orb somewhere. And yes, I know that that's not representative of somebody you play in the game. Oh, they missed 1 orb. But it's just something that I'm adhering to for the guide. It's just adding a little bit of artificial difficulty, I guess you'd say. But anyway, had to delete the video, and you can be sure that a lot of the fights in that video that I deleted were pristine and angelic and as pure as pure can be. But I couldn't keep it on there, and that's a shame, a big shame. And this boss that's coming up, he is going to get you. He is a very difficult boss. You have to be on the know-how for what he's saying, because if you get too distracted by dealing with the lackeys, he is going to be doing things that will potentially end your session. And I think I'm going to go into his audio tells once we get there. But what you can do, and what I've done, is lowered the background music so you can hear the voices a little bit more clearly without any musical distraction. So anyway, at about this point when the dogs spawn, you want to hop in your spaceship and shoot them all until they're dead. It is a slow method, but I've got to tell you guys, it's effective, even though it doesn't look like it's effective, but I'm telling you, it is quite effective. And you really don't want to risk dealing with these dog fucks. You just don't want to. And how do you go about beating Agnes? It was tough because a long time ago I struggled with this level, and I still struggle with it. And I think the fact that there's a lot of weapon switching involved. There's a lot of dealing with just lackeys, and they're not difficult lackeys, by them, but throw all of them in a room with him, and it can spell disaster quite quickly. So you'll want to have as much health and as much double trigger as possible, and we're going to use every opportunity that he's at ground level to do real impacts. Now the great thing about this game that I really love is that when you're in double trigger mode, you can't get interrupted, albeit you take damage, but you can't get knocked over or stunned or anything like that. So you can be setting up for your real impact right in front of spawning gladiuses and dogs, and even though you get hit, you can still proceed with your real impact. And I believe you want to start with the double trigger activated when you hit him as well for the first time. and you can just take off sick, mad damage on this guy. And I find him difficult. I find this chapter difficult, but I think a lot of people do. So it's really not me. It's throwing people into situations that some of these situations weren't in the game in the first place, and also you're using Dante now, a different type of guy who is forced to do crowd control on a street like this, and he's not too good at crowd control to begin with. Okay, now is the time where we need to smash everything. So let's just go through this. Bench. Trash can. A few more trash cans. I'm just going to go really, really slowly because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to have a good Agnes fight and have missed something over here. There's also one trash can in the next zone that has it's a concealment device for the trial, so you don't have to hit it. You do not have to hit it. The next fight though that's coming up is one where you'll immediately be introduced to two Mephistos flying around, and then once you kill one of them, don't miss that one. That one's quite easy to forget. And up there's a blue orb, or at least there was. Okay, so two Mephistos, right? You kill one, you spawn in two of the Alto Angelos, and then after that, I don't know at what point the Faust comes in, but I'm pretty sure that once you have the Altos on the screen, here I'll show you that chest right there, or that can, whatever the hell it is, you don't have to hit it. That's the one that conceals the trial. Just be cognizant that from behind you somewhere there's going to be a Faust spawning. So you want to make sure that he is nowhere near the camera to do any type of damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to use shotgun blasts on the Mephistos. We're going to drop them, and then we're going to use real impacts or stinger spam them. And you can try if you want to do distributive damage so that you can kill them quickly and simultaneously. But there's really not that much of a call for doing it. However, once the Altos spawn, what you want to be doing is switching to the Rebellion so that you can do the prop and knock them down. So that's what you're basically doing. You're just continuing to shoot the Mephisto, and then once he's dead, with these two, you just want opportunities, and don't get greedy. Do not get greedy here. And at this point, there is a Faust behind us somewhere. So what you want to do is just look for those opportunities that I mentioned to spin that sword and trip them and make them fall. And then you want to do your real impact because it takes them a hell of a long time to get up. That was a little bold of me. That was a little bold. I should have been a little bit more aware that I needed to save my Devil Trigger. But we do have a Faust to deal with, so we should be getting back some of our Devil Trigger. Okay, now here it is. Now, the thing about this Faust is that if you want no part of this thing, I'm talking about players who are just having a really hard time dealing with these fucking Fausts. If you don't want any part about switching to Gunslinger and trying to omen him, all you have to do is just jump around the arena, fire charge shots at him, and he will eventually go down. It just takes a long time. Because what can happen is what you just saw there. I was going in to aim in the dynamic direction that I was facing, and then the game shifts because it shifts the perspective. It doesn't always do that, but it does it at moments where you're possibly going to be shitting your pants. But if you want to, you can just activate Devil Trigger and proceed with the move. But I don't like that. I really don't. In like the space of a couple frames, they shift it so that your analog input ends up being incorrect, whereas it was correct initially, but you didn't quite register it fast enough. Maybe maybe you can't respond. Maybe it's so quickly. Maybe your analog direction tilt is just set in stone at that point. But right now I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to bide my time. I'm going to taunt. I'm going to switch my guns a little bit. and prepare for the battle with this fucking bastard Dick. The first thing you want to do, though, I can't tell you how hard this fight is, guys. It's just so difficult, so luck dependent too. About having nice setups. You want to switch to the Sword Master. You want the Sword Master, and you want Gilgamesh equipped, the gauntlets. Okay? Make sure you have that equipped. You don't want to go in fumbling. And then you want to go up to him. He will do a burst of wind that will knock you back. However, just keep doing it, and then do your real impacts here. Start with the Devil Trigger activated, so that if he is summoning any dogs or swords, it's not going to matter, because what happens inevitably is that you cut right through them and it doesn't affect you, and you don't get phased. So when he says time to die, you must attack him to prevent an all-encompassing heat wave attack. All right, guys. When he says your strength is mine, you have to attack him to prevent losing your health and prevent him from healing too, which is ridiculous, huh? And then one of the other things he says is, you dare oppose me and time to dissect you. When he says things like that, he's summoning gladiuses. And then finally, he says, behold the power of the angels. He's summoning fireballs and those dogs. And you can see, can't you, how this room just becomes an ultimate shit fest of just glorious things going on over here. But with these dogs, I like to stinger spam them as much as possible. You always want to be shooting your shotgun to deal chip damage to the boss. When he spins like that, you need to do moves that have iframes, and you also need to do the trickster. And you can, try different types of evasions on that. But the problem is that I think I'm going to say, in all fairness, that he overuses it towards the end of the fight, and it's a very difficult move to do. And I think that it's something that should be done maybe once, because he summons these. Now that he's an angel or what have you, he summons these cutlasses to do this spin, and it's just devastating. And it's also it's really devastating while you're trying to do all of these weapon switchings, that you go in to do the aerial rave on him when he's in the middle, saying now's the time to die or what have you. But I think that for any other time that you're not doing the real impact on that fight, make sure you keep the other sword equipped so that you can do stingers and the aerial rave. And there we have it. He is so hard. I mean, pat yourself on the back if you did that. That is fucking hard. We had a clear time of 21 minutes and 0.1 seconds. The stylish points, actually, we didn't get many stylish points, did we? 17,472, and of course, we collected all of the orbs. Wow, that chapter is out of control and ridiculous. But you know something? It sure felt good to beat it.